to provide practice educators with students' perspective about engaging in placement when English is their second language. We will highlight difficulties faced by students and how you can help address this challenge with them. ESL is a term used to refer to individuals who are learning or speaking English as an additional language in addition to their native language. What is COLE? COLE means culturally and linguistically diverse. COLE students accompany people who have a unique cultural and linguistic background compared to the dominant culture in the location where they reside. Acculturation, or cultural adjustment, is defined as a process of cultural contact and exchange, where a person or a group adopts certain values and practice of a culture that is not originally their own. For example, everyone greets each other in different ways. Some behaviors in certain countries can be considered rude or inappropriate, while in others might be considered as normal or polite. According to Moita et al. 2015, COLE students have often chosen to study in the UK. This has added positive cultural contribution, such as bringing exposure to the cultural beliefs, bringing different perspectives to the workforce. However, students can be faced barriers which needed to be adjusted and talked about. Attrue, Matt Allister and Link in 2016 has stated that ESL and acculturation are significant factors which could negatively impact placement outcomes. Studies have shown that in English-speaking countries, COLE students may experience learning challenges on placement. A small-scale survey was done to gather COLE students' perspectives on their practice learning experience. Recruitment was carried out in 2 UK universities with a large number of health programs and on Twitter. 74% of students reported they faced barriers on placement due to speaking English as second language. 48% of students reported they did not feel supported by educators during their practice placement regarding speaking English as a second language.
Students reported they may misunderstand conversations. This could be due to the use of complex sentences and slang by other practitioners, which the COLE students might not understand. The use of local expression, accents, and the pace of speech may also have an impact. For example, saying things like bits and bobs and going to the loo. Jokes might not be understood, and the use of abbreviations can make the placement experience harder for COLE students. 56% of students reported they face barriers in placement due to their accent. Students often needed to repeat themselves to colleagues and patients due to this, as shown in this scenario. This could be a factor which complicates students' communication with patients who may have communication difficulties themselves, such as hearing or speaking impairments, as shown in this second scenario. Some COLE students may not always be completely accurate when speaking, as they're still getting used to the language. This makes students feel like outsiders and lowers their confidence because of their pronunciation. Microaggressions are everyday actions that intentionally or unintentionally communicate negative messages towards a person based on an aspect of their identity, such as race and ethnicity. An example scenario of microaggression within placement could be making fun of someone's accent or making comments about the way someone dresses, or the food they eat within their culture. 52% of students reported they faced microaggressions whilst on placement. Microaggressions can cause students to lack confidence and motivation in their placement settings and feel like outsiders within the placement team and environment. It's important to be aware of microaggressions and stepping in to address the situation. Be an active bystander. COLE students reported difficulties with writing notes in English and reading others' handwriting. In fact, they might have a different writing style and take extra time to write notes. Many students need to translate from their language to English and may need more time to find the right words and abbreviations to use. This can also be difficult in verbal communication, such as feeling pressured to give a quick answer to questions or presenting an MDT meeting. How could you help? You could allow students thinking and processing time before answering on-the-spot questions, and also allow students time to prepare before meetings and presentations. What do you think you could do to improve your students' confidence?
You can support COLD students coming onto placement and help them build their confidence by creating discussions with students at the initial meeting about their learning needs and allowing time to develop a relationship together. You can discuss what students may find challenging and what would help them in certain scenarios. It is helpful to provide students with a list of abbreviations, slang terms and the professional language required. Also share helpful videos or other resources. What could you do to improve the students' communication with patients? You could advise the student to practice writing notes prior to placements and supply the use of fake case studies as examples. Support the student with initial introductions with patients and other professionals within the setting, and allow time on the way to see the patient to practice what they may say. Called in. Bring culturally and linguistically diverse students into the team. Introduce the student to the team and be welcoming. Help the student to fit in the team. Be kind with the student, especially during those first few weeks. If there is a colleague of the same nationality as the student, make sure they can meet and see patients together at times. Most importantly, be the student's ally. Be patient, mindful and understanding with the student, reflecting about when you were a student and how you were feeling. Allow extra time for students to establish their thought processes and translation of words. Be aware that COLD students might need support with slang, professional language, abbreviations and pace when speaking. You can try to break tasks given to the students into smaller steps and provide explanations, making them more achievable.
You can facilitate support by informing yourself about different cultures, research and learning more about them. How can you as educators support COLD students to become confident members of the team? Encourage, be positive so that the students can build up their confidence. Reassure the students, recognize and appreciate their efforts. Get to know about other support facilities you can refer students regarding issues around language. Remember, communication is the key. Regularly catch up with students to discuss their needs. Avoid prejudice and stereotypes. Be aware of the discrimination that might happen around COLD students. Avoid bias and assumptions about students who are UK nationals with diverse backgrounds. Do not expect all UK national students to have English as their first language. COLD students add to the team with their diverse heritage and perspectives, increasing our cultural awareness. This is also beneficial to our clients who may also speak a different language. Remember, they are an asset, not a deficit. You can learn a great deal from educating COLD students, enhancing your own professional practice. How would you feel if you were practicing in another country right now, possibly in a different language? How would you feel if you were in your student's shoes? Don't forget, working in a foreign language is courageous.